Kyle, what are your memories of your emotions going into New Orleans last year, Week 17?
I didn't really have much time to think last year going to New Orleans, Week 17. It was a wild year for me, obviously, getting cut, getting brought back, and being active the last two games and starting the last one. So really I was just trying to take advantage of an awesome opportunity and just trying to execute and play within the game and get a win for a team, and we needed one. And, obviously a lot of good memories coming out of that game with the win.
Did you reach out to anybody for advice, or do you remember maybe advice from teammates? Or?
Yeah, it was just pretty simple. We didn't have much on the line. We were already out of playoff contention, so it was just go ball out, have fun, take advantage of opportunity.
You mentioned not much on the line. There's a lot on the line now moving forward. You guys pretty much need to win most of your games. What do you take from what you did in that game to what you need to do moving forward?
I think that game's a lot different. I think the only really thing I take from that game is playing in New Orleans in the stadium, just familiarity at that point. But I think it's different. It's a new year. It's a different team. They run a little bit of different scheme. A lot of the same players on their team, but they've been playing people differently. And it's like you said, there's a lot more on the line than there was last year. So you can take some of it from last year and learn from it, but not much.
But is there something to be said for maybe cutting loose a little bit and playing more free like you did in Week 17 and not putting that pressure on yourself?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I think it's just playing clean football and executing. It's not about cutting loose, about playing free. It's about just playing well, executing, and scoring points and sustaining drives. I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Kyle, you're saying that they're playing teams differently this year. What do you see out of their defense and how they're approaching teams?
I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I think their scheme is just somewhat a little bit different than it was last year, and I think they've improved as a defense from last year. I think they're a very solid defense, and they got a lot of great playmakers, and they're being put in position to make good plays. And so you've seen them get up on a lot of teams recently, and their defense plays tough, and they create turnovers, they create a lot of confusion, and they got a lot of playmakers.
Kyle, other than just having 8 additional starts under your belt since that last time in New Orleans, what have you seen? What's been the biggest change in your game since then?
There's a lot. I don't think my game has changed much. I think just the mental part has changed. I just think I've seen more. I've seen more defensive. I've seen more schemes, more blitzes. Just overall, I've seen more. So I'm just banking that information.
Having gone to New Orleans and winning in the Superdome, a hard place to play, does that kind of give you a little extra confidence going in?
I don't know. I think every week's different. I don't think I can look back on last year and think that since we won last year in the Superdome, when they were 13-2 and rested half their starters in the second half, it's a little different. So I take every game as its own game, and I think this is a lot different than last year.
Ron said you guys had a conversation after this past week's game. What did you take from that?
I'm going to just keep that between me and Ron, but it's good to have his support and have a conversation after a tough game like that. It's good to have a head coach that'll talk to you and support you after a game like that.
Where is your confidence right now coming off the last week? Because you maintained being a even-keeled guy, but that was for you that was a low. And how do you bounce back to get back to being you? I guess is the
same way I bounced back before. I've had lows before. Confidence stays the same. That's why I said you got to take successes. You have to handle your successes the same way you handle your failures. You got to stay even-keeled. So the confidence is the same. We just got to go out and execute. It hasn't changed my confidence.
Kyle, this NFC's kind of tough. A lot of good teams, and you guys are already 2.5 back of the last wild card. How do you approach it the rest of the way here?
Just take it week by week. Try and win every game. That's all we can do. We've put ourselves in a tough position at 5-5, but obviously there's still a chance. You take it week by week and try and win every game and see where we're at after Week 17.
A couple of your teammates said that when you're in the huddle, there's a look you have, and it's like a split second, and it goes back to your normal look, and they can't really explain it. Do you know what they're talking about?
No. You have to take a picture of me.
It's just interesting. They said it makes them smile, and it gives them confidence you can do the job. I'm just wondering, what do you do when it's...
Maybe I'm doing it to you right now. I don't know.
It was funny. They kept saying it over and over.
Yeah.
They said it's there, but unless you're there, you can't explain it.
I'm glad I can make them laugh, make them confident in me. I don't know. It's just being me.
Any more questions, guys? Comparing Comparing your last 4 starts versus your first 4 starts, they're a little bit different. Why do you think that is? Do you think their defenses are kind of playing to your game, or what do you think?
I don't know. It's tough to compare starts over different teams because every week's a different team. I think obviously the biggest thing is the turnovers, and I think that as a team, and especially starting with me, we just haven't played as clean as we did before. And when we were playing clean football, I say it all the time, when we were playing clean football, we were playing complementary football. That gives momentum to the defense. The defense started getting turnovers, giving momentum back to us. And so we were just kind of feeding off each other. And right now we've just kind of gotten away from it. And like I said, it starts with me. And so it's really just about getting back on track to how we were doing in those whatever games those were a couple weeks ago. And just getting back to who we are and finding our identity again as a ball club.
Kind of building off of that, do you feel that teams are able to adjust to you and what you do more now that there is more tape on you out there?
I don't think it's the adjustment specifically to me. I think every defense that we've played has played us like we thought they were going to play us. And I think the biggest thing that we've talked about is we've hurt ourselves more than other people have hurt us. So it's about staying out of our own way.
You talked about DJ Moore before, but these past few weeks, have you seen maybe a difference in him or how he approaches this role on this team?
No difference. He's just getting the ball more, I guess. He's making more plays, and I don't think that's scheme-wise. I think that's more of how defenses have been playing us. And it's like I said with this offense isn't set up to go to a certain guy. It's set up to adjust to different defenses. So that's why we have a lot of great playmakers who get the ball, and different people have big weeks on different weeks. And so lately it's been DJ. Curtis had a bunch of big weeks to start the season. Greg had a couple of big weeks. C-Mac's going to always have a big week. Jay Wright had a couple of big weeks. So I think those guys in that room, in the receivers room especially, approach the game the same way every week, and they're very consistent, and I appreciate that from them.